Welcome back, guys. It's time for our innovation space where we talk about recent happenings in the world of technology. And something that we're going to talk about today, which you might not be aware of, is the fact that flying drones in Nigeria now requires a permit. That's right, guys. You have to go to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority and the Office of the National Security Advisor before you are permitted to fly a drone. So I have an experts in technological issues here in the house with me. I have Bankole Oluwafemi. He's the editor-in-chief of Tech Cabal. I'm sure you guys know Tech Cabal, Abi. If you don't, you're darling. Anyway, Lord Banks, as he is much better known by all of us in the world of social media. Is this a good thing?
Absolutely not. There are safety imperatives, obviously security imperatives that we're taken into consideration, and all over the world, they have guidelines for whether you can fly drones or not. But this one appears to have been arbitrarily done, and it is stifling innovation, to put it mildly.
Okay, let me ask you first. Lots of people use drones now. They're very popular for weddings and for stuff like that. But just to give people a better idea of their usefulness, what other ways can drones be used?
Not just weddings. Weddings are a good use. I totally support that. It makes things more interesting. But there are commercial applications, there are health applications, there are safety, surveillance, security applications, military applications that probably are seriously regulated, considering how serious that is. But there are so many things you can do with drones, and we've seen many examples happen in the developed world and even in developing countries.
Speaking of, developing countries, I do know that Rwanda is planning to launch drones, for taking blood to rural areas and basically for health work. And they're also talking about building the first drone port in the world. This is a big deal. It
is a big deal, and the Rwandan example is something that it's a pilot with a startup called Zipline, and the Rwandan government is paying for that to happen. But it can serve as a model to see, whether it's actually practical to transfer, blood from, blood bank, to a remote site. And watching how that will unfold should be interesting for other countries that want to emulate, because then again, you have to think about the infrastructural issues that many developing countries have. They don't have good roads, they don't have transport networks, and if you can just have a drone that can fly line of sight, then you can get the blood or the medicines or whatever it is to people quicker, faster. That will save lives, obviously. So
I know that another use of these drones is for surveillance. I know that South Africa had tested that last year, where they did some crime surveillance, and Nigeria had talked about using drones for oil pipeline vandalization. Does this ban affect that, or I don't know, because I haven't really heard very much about it?
To be honest, so the government is its own, it's a law, well, it's not a law unto itself, but considering that their imperative is to, make sure that those pipelines are safe, then they will probably, find ways around the regulation. The current ban is mostly for civilians who want to fly drones or who want to research into drones, which we feel is arbitrary again. So if the government wants to get something done, they'll obviously find a way to do it. But what happens to when private citizens who are doing it for purposes of research or just like figuring stuff out? Again, stifling innovation is what the problem is here.
So if this was your decision to make and you had to put these guidelines in place, what would your approach be?
I mean, absolutely. You need to think about it, like the cliche, holistically, within the confines of what will be safe for people to do. How is it not a security hazard? How far away from airports should people not fly drones? So that it doesn't constitute a risk to people. And then you put those guidelines in place. And we've seen examples in Kenya. They have regulations. In Zimbabwe, they have a whole manual.
Has a manual,
on drone regulations. And what they need to do is to put in place a transparent procedure, because what it currently is very opaque. So you can just walk up to the National Security Advisor for the permit. Like, how do you do that?
Like, that's
it needs to be something that anyone can access.
Yes. Yeah. I agree that it's definitely something that needs to be revisited. It does seem like a totally blanket statement. And I do understand that, yes, there might be security considerations, but then, like you said, putting in place a process that should be followed would definitely make a difference. Now, just to round up, is there anything new happening in technology that we should know about?
Quite a few things. E-commerce is becoming a really exciting space. It's been around for about 4 years in full force, but now we're seeing even better payment processing systems coming online that allow people to, merchants, people who want to sell stuff online, just make it easier for them. And it's gotten to the point now that from their Twitter handles or from their Instagram handles, they're able to, do these transactions like really quickly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So guys, those of you on social media, go ahead and shop. That's basically what Lord Banks is here to tell you. Oh, not really, but yeah. So guys, are you affected by this ban? Are you a drone operator, or you just have an opinion on how the government should actually handle this? Send us a message. We're on Twitter and Instagram at @thecrunch_EL. Or if you have a lot to say to get off your chest, then send us an email at thecrunch@EbonyLifeTV.com. Lord Banks, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me.
And we're looking forward to having you come more and just give us all this technological gist.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.